great intro, and I hope everyone is ready to be inspired. So let me get started.
Over to you.
Perfect. Okay, so recruiting the best, right? Steps to take sales team from average to awesome. I have a very practical presentation here, so I hope you are all inspired at the end of it. Firstly, a little bit about OwnBackup. So we were founded in 2015, but we've been listed on the Salesforce App Exchange since 2012. So that's nearly a decade of providing backup and recovery software to Salesforce customers and also now Microsoft and other platforms. We have seen 100% year-over-year growth for the last 5 years with 4,200 customers globally. So a big powerhouse right now. A key part of our success has been the ability to hire in line with our revenue goals. So we had 200 employees when I first started in 2019, and now we're at 800, and we plan to be at 1,200 by the end of the year. So pretty lofty, ambitious goals. The good news is that once we find the right hires, our attrition rate is pretty low, so around 17% compared to an average of 25% in the industry. So in the 7 minutes, I just want to lay out really what the process is to build a high-performing SMB team that translate across really any sales org. So for me, as you can see, this is very specific about high-performing SMB teams, but for you, it could be enterprise, anything, any sales role that you need to fill. And it's not just from a sales leader perspective, it's also from the candidate's perspective. So whether you're on the chat, I saw some SDRs, I also saw some partnership directors, like this can go across the board, really. So I actually learned this process from our SVP of sales, Gareth Morris, and he took me through this process when we first were going through the interview process back in 2019. And I was really impressed that he took the time to coach me and that he was really involved in my success. And that was really important to me. So it resonated with me. So hopefully this resonates with you as well. And also, I think both speakers have touched on this, like the noise around the Great Resignation right now. You need to stand out in the crowd, right? As a candidate and as an employer, you have to be engaging and you have to stand out. So here is my process. The first part of our process at OwnBackup is we all have a hiring manager interview on YouTube in sales. Really powerful. It goes through, why we joined OwnBackup, what is our leadership style, who are we looking for and why, and how you can join our team. So this tool is really helpful to use before any interviews and also throughout the process if you want to just have a connection or send on LinkedIn. It's great for all parties. So I'm just going to show you a quick snippet of this so you can see what we're doing here at OwnBackup.
And with all sorts of different backgrounds in sales, but for the most part, most of the AEs currently have been in sales development or business development and have been selling as an account executive for on average of 30 years. As a manager, I lead with authenticity, and I think this took me a while to figure out because I was in my own career was trying to really balance my, the way I behaved or I acted in a corporate setting versus how I would be, with my friends or family. So I'm really over the years trying to balance that, and I think now I finally have, and I'm trying to lead in that same way with my team so they feel comfortable. Whether it's in a team meeting or in a group setting, to be transparent, say what they need, and to just be able to be successful as a team and to be able to work together and know that we're doing that as our true selves.
Great. So that's step one of the process, right? And then what we go to now is what everybody knows is the actual timeline that you take a candidate through, right? So this is a really, really important. To keep to the process, and it really gives your candidate a clear path to closure for a new potential job, and also you as the hiring manager to keep everything on track. So first we have is two 30-minute screenings, pretty typical, one by the recruiter, one by the hiring manager, and you need to have those within 3 days of each other, right? Because you want to keep the momentum going. Once you decide that is the right candidate for you, you're going to book in the panel. The panel will be within 1 week of that last 30-minute phone interview. Again, you want to keep up the momentum and you want to keep pushing forward with the candidate. once we have the panel booked in, what we do is within 2 to 3 days, we book in a coaching session. So this is, I think, maybe unique to us, or maybe everyone is doing it out there, I'm not sure, but we jump on a screen share and we make sure that the candidate is prepared for the presentation. This does a couple things, right? It shows how prepared they are. It shows how the candidate prepares. Do they wait last minute? Are they open to coaching? Do you have a strong connection? Are you creative together? It really shows you a lot of things. The next coaching session is the morning of the presentation. And this for me is my favorite time, because you can see the candidate, you can see how, energized they are, how motivated they are for that job. And you can also see if they took on any of your coaching tips. So it really does show you a lot throughout the process. So I think this is really the key to the difference in how we are hiring our candidates. And I think it's great for a candidate to be able to work with you right during this process. So the next part, straightforward panel. If you didn't do any coaching for the presentation, you don't have the panel. Just cancel it, push it forward, and just make sure you're able to coach that candidate so they can put their best foot forward at that interview. And finally, it ends with the SVP. Again, it's Gareth Morris. This gives them a great chance to ask any high-level questions and have that connection so both parties can make sure it's the best fit. Just wanted to show you the proof is in the pudding, right? So the stats are there. We have the data. The team was built in 2019. Over 30% of the AEs have been promoted within OwnBackup, which is really important to us. And our attrition is much lower than the industry standard. So this process is working. And lastly, I have a few takeaways, really 3 main takeaways from this process that I stick to, right? So standing on the market is a must. Every speaker is going to speak about this. You have to be engaged with the candidate. You have to ask yourself, what am I doing today? Is it working? Are they engaged? Are they dropping out of the process? Am I engaged? Am I present? So take a look at that and see if you can maybe implement a video or something interactive in the process. Next part, spending time through coaching pays off, right? It's just an hour, but that hour, it goes so long and it goes so far, and it will be something that you and the candidate will remember for as long as you're working together. And then also encourage authenticity during the process. The last thing you want is to show up to your first day on the job and it's different than what you had expected during the interview process. So this is really important to us and to me and how we hire. So definitely hope this was helpful. Hope you feel inspired. And if you are looking for a SaaS selling job in London, let me know. We are hiring 8 people. So shameless plug.
Nothing wrong with a shameless plug, Abby. That's absolutely fine. Well done. Thank you very much. I'm really interested. If we get time on the panel, I'm going to ask you about that attrition rate and what you think is contributing to that. I'll save it until everyone's up because I'd be keen to hear how that compares to other people's experience. But great job. Thanks for actually a really important topic at the moment. So I'm sure there's some great takeaways for people in there.